And let's just be real. Terence Crawford didn't clean out 147. Granted, it's not to take away from him winning. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I called him winning. But we're not going to act like he went in 147 and dominated everybody in 147, or majority of 147. He had his fight against Errol Spence, and he dominated Errol Spence. So the first thing we're going to get into today on my absence is we had Terence Crawford, and there's many things that we can get into, but I want to touch bases on Terence Crawford being stripped of the IBF title. And this is the thing, right? Terence Crawford didn't vacate the belt, they snatched it away. If Terence didn't actually have any plans on defending the belt, the IBF belt in particular, and he was going to actually go up to 154, then it shouldn't matter if he got stripped of the belt, because at the end of the day, what a lot of people tend to forget is that with all of these belts that these champions hold, there's also sanctioning fees that has to be paid. So it's just like, if you're not going to be defending the belt, then there's no point of sitting there holding up the division, because people got to keep in mind that the division was already slick held up. And I'm speaking from a person who's been consuming boxing. I'm 34 years old. So, I have my likes, but I love the sport as a whole. So, we want to see more big fights made, more fights that may not necessarily be on the mainstream level of Terence Crawford or Errol Spence or Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury, but still good and competitive for the sport. So the last thing we need is people holding it up. And Errol Spence and that Terence Crawford fight, which was projected to be made, it took some time, you know what I'm saying? And it held up a lot of the movement in that division. So I was actually happy that not only did the fight happen, that it happened in the way that it happened, so we could continue to move and maneuver in the division, you know what I'm saying, so we could continue to get some big fights. Bud had no plans on actually defending any of these belts and going up to 154, whether it was to fight Charlo or fight Errol Spence again, however you may. Then give up the belts, relinquish the belts, and let somebody else dominate that division, which of course we know would be Jaron Boots Ennis. And a lot of people were saying, well, Jaron Boots doesn't deserve to fight Terence Crawford. Who are you guys to say this? You know what I'm saying? Like, the funny thing is, before Terence Crawford fought Errol Spence, they were saying the same thing that they're saying about Boots not being qualified or ready. They were saying the same thing about Terence, literally. And let's just be real. Terence Crawford didn't clean out 147. Granted, it's not to take away from him winning, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I called him winning. But we're not going to act like he went in 147 and dominated everybody in 147, or majority of 147. He had his fight against Errol Spence, and he dominated Errol Spence. So if it would be one thing if he dominated 147 and was moving up to 154, and then, it was a situation where it was like, it ain't nothing else left for him to do or nobody else for him to clean up and dress up and get him out of there. But we literally got Boots calling you out. And it wasn't just Terence Crawford. He definitely wanted to fight Errol Spence, and I think he wanted to fight Errol Spence more. And in all actuality, I think Errol Spence would have actually made the fight happen if he won and beat Terence Bud Crawford. Why Terence Crawford doesn't want to make the fight happen, I have no idea. I have some speculation, because I did say that he would beat Errol Spence based off of legacy purpose. You know what I'm saying? Which he did do, and he's proven. So I would like to think Terence Crawford is moving his chess pieces more in a legacy mindset, and I don't see nothing wrong with that. But don't try to, shit on Boots, you know what I'm saying? Or say email champion and things like that, because you was just literally that before you fought Errol Spence. According to the so-called boxing fans, to people who's been consuming boxing and love this sports and the science, we already knew you was the deal. Which, like I said, I wasn't surprised by him beating Errol Spence. So, yeah, what I truthfully see in this Terence Crawford and versus Jaron Boots Ennis situation at hand is experience versus youth. But the thing people got to keep in mind is that Boots comes from a family of boxing similar to Mayweather. So it's not just him being a younger fighter with all of these attributes and things like that. He got a lot of wisdom in his corner from his older brothers being prior boxers, you know what I'm saying, as well as, all due respect and love to Bozy, you know what I'm saying, the OG, you gotta salute. And just with Bozy alone is a lot of history and information and just having, you know, interactions with different generations of boxers that came, you know, before this current time. So you can only imagine, you know, the information he has. And then you got a son that actually listens to what, you know, his father's telling him and wants to go out there and execute and wants to win and dominate the sport. He's a threat. So it's a high risk, low reward type of situation, to be honest, in my personal opinion. And being that Terence Bud Crawford is older, you know what I'm saying, getting older, which he's not showing no blemish at all, you know what I'm saying. But, you know, it's a thinking man's sport, and you want to, it should be a sport that teaches to self-preserve. And I think Mayweather executed that a lot, and I think Bud has the opportunity to see how Mayweather and fighters like Andre Ward, of course, were able to get their bag, you know, get their just due when it came time, and maneuver out of the sport and be able to have all of their faculties intact. So, you know, I would respect it more if it was just put out there like that, because I don't think Bud is ducking per se. At least it doesn't seem like that. I'm not going to speak for him, but I would like to think, you know what I'm saying, he wouldn't. But I do think he's paying attention to Boots and weighing out the risks, you know. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I could be wrong on that. But y'all let me know, man. Once again, man, Carbon 12 Boxing Club, we back. You know, man, we're going to start hitting y'all with some more videos. I hope y'all like this video. Feel free to like, share, subscribe. It's for free. And till next time, man, once again, Carbon 12 Boxing Club, Diego.